Last night's chaos has given way to calm this morning as the search continues for a shooter or shooters in Ferguson, Missouri. We are tracking some breaking news this morning. We want to tell you more about it now. We are hearing that an Indonesian airliner carrying 54 people has lost contact over the eastern part of Indonesia. You don't have to look far to see the damage of an overnight smash and grab. Police helped the store owner here remove the door, and when you take a look inside, you can see what they did. Everything that we like is bad for us. This is terrible. What else? What could be next? And now the company is charging them over $1,000 to get out of that lease. Can you explain that? For a community that aspires to be a center of hope and peace, last night it was again turned into a place of despair and violence. You either find out when you file that your return is not accepted, or you receive a letter. That's what happened to David Simons. By surveying contractors, we determined the job Ginny got should have cost $2,000. Not $4,000.
You're a hard worker.
Well, what can I say, everyone? I'm just going to pat myself on the back. Thanks.
Nice work, Mike.
Thank you.
Yep.
Jason says when the computer stops working, he'll lose control of things like the radio or even his backup camera. When the Cardinals were looking to trade for Jason Hayward this past offseason, the Braves wanted a pitcher in return. At the top of their list was Carlos Martinez, but that's not who they got. Instead, the Cardinals shipped Shelby Miller, and as fate would have it, it was a Miller-Martinez matchup at Busch in Game 2 of this three-game set with the Braves.
I tried to get my brothers to try a dog bone a couple times. It didn't quite work. All right, 6:24, time for weather and traffic on the 4s. Mike Colombo looking at Manchester for us.
Yeah, keeping that dog bone in Rex's mouth is probably a good thing because we know he likes to run his mouth. So there you go. Speaking of running, pretty smooth run, even though traffic is picking up. 270 at Manchester. We are following a developing international story for you this morning. It's believed that the wing flap you see here may belong to Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. We want to get straight to some breaking news we're following in University City.
Police there investigating shots fired just about 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah, our Kelly Davis has been on the scene in U City for several hours now. Right now, she's moved over to the police department where she is working to get new details. Kelly, what are police saying? We have new information about the massive mine spill in Colorado that turned a river bright orange. Testing done hours after the spill shows the amount of lead in the water was more than 3,500 times the limit that's safe for humans. The EPA identified a Fenton company working on site at the time of the spill, and that company is now responding. Only on 4, a grieving mother's raw emotion after her daughter was gunned down in this double murder Wednesday night on Mimica. This case serves as another reminder that murder victims aren't the only casualties of the growing violence in our city. Our Alexis Zotto spoke exclusively with the woman's mother about that impact. News 4 will press police for more information today after a deadly shooting at a North St. Louis park. Just before 9 o'clock last night, officers found a man in his 30s dead in Rauschenbach Park. They say he was shot several times. That's the very same park where hundreds gathered earlier in the day for a rally organized by the group Mothers Against Killing. News 4's Mugo Odigwe reports. Well, no surprises here. Money, no obstacle for Donald Trump in his effort to become president. Trump says he's ready to spend whatever it takes. Here's what the Republican candidate told reporters at the Iowa State Fair on Saturday. We are tracking some breaking news this morning. We want to tell you more about it now. We are hearing that an Indonesian airliner carrying 54 people has lost contact over the eastern part of Indonesia. The plane lost contact about 30 minutes after taking off. When we hear new details about what happened, we will bring them to you. The final round of the 2015 PGA Championship concludes today, and you can catch all the action right here this afternoon on KMOV. But this morning, we want to show you one of the highlights from yesterday's action that you just don't see every day on the course. Everybody duck. What you saw there was Matt Jones sending his errant drive on the par 4 9th to the hospitality suite. When you see that ball land on the carpet there, you know it's not good. But as you just witnessed, Jones moved a group of fans to create a clearing for his shot. He then nailed that second shot just off the green and would go on to bogey the hole. Still very impressive from where he was at. Today's coverage of the PGA Championship starts at 1 right here on News 4. Kristen, you don't see that every day.
Apparently not.
You don't. Well, you're learning. We're teaching Kristen a little bit about golf today.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen often. And then to execute that shot and hit it where he hit it is extremely impressive and definitely something you don't see every day.
Definitely interesting, for sure.
So you're going to be practicing that one, right?
Yeah, me and golf, not so much, not so much. Other things, but golf, yeah.
You and weather, however,
Yeah,
it's a great relationship.
It's a good match.
Yeah. We are following breaking news out of North St. Louis this morning. A woman hit and killed by a hit-and-run driver. Police say it happened around 12:30 this morning at the corner of Turner and Natural Bridge near Fairground Park. Other than believing that the suspect was driving a silver four-door sedan, police tell us they don't have much information. If you have information, you are urged to call police. If the unrest in Ferguson has taught us anything over the last year, it's that many of the issues important to protesters aren't related to Brown's death. One issue we continue to hear about is the lack of quality job opportunities. Last month, we showed you the people lining up for this Ferguson 1000 job fair. Our Steve Savard takes a closer look at the similar initiative hoping to improve the community. For more than a month, we've been introducing you to pastors and churches in the St. Louis region working to reduce violence in the areas they serve. This morning, News 4's Mugo Odigwe is talking with Anthony Trice. He's a bishop at Covenant for Life Christian Church. Mugo, good morning to you and to Bishop Trice. Yeah, Ken, for a community that aspires to be a center of hope and peace, last night it was again turned into a place of despair and violence. This parking lot here is where the shooting took place with the man and those police officers. We're told by St. Louis County Police that he was being watched by the officers because it was believed that he and some of the other people that he was with had guns. Now, they chased him actually from over in this area near Sam's Meat Market across the street here into this parking lot where gunshots were exchanged. He was firing at officers. They in turn fired back from that SUV. It all ended with them shooting him behind this building here. He was then taken into police custody and sent off to the hospital where he remains in critical, unstable condition. At this point, police are still here throughout this neighborhood. In fact, you can see a couple officers in the distance here near those homes back there. We believe that they are looking for more pieces of evidence. We saw them speaking with one of the homeowners there. Police Chief John Belmar in St. Louis County saying that it's up to the entire community to bring the small group of people who are causing the problems here to justice.
We sent letters, we've had attorneys send letters, and virtually no response, just total frustration that way.
Glenn Morgan says he's now the second member of his family to receive the same runaround from Granite City-based Premier CDL Training Services. Glenn's son Joel paid nearly $3,700 to take trucking classes at Premier before changing his mind just prior to the program's cancellation deadline. Joel was entitled to a full refund, but 3.5 months later, he'd received nothing.
He started off, impatient. Then he got angry. Then he was frustrated. Then he was hurt.
On December 5th, Joel's family says the stresses in his life, which now included the ongoing fight for his refund from Premier CDL, became too much for him to handle.
He was really down. He was depressed to a depth we didn't know. And Joel took his own life.
As the one-year anniversary of that tragic day nears, the Morgans want to settle Joel's estate. To do that, Premier CDL needs to do what Glenn believes the company should have done more than a year ago.
As a parent, you always want to protect your kids if they're 4, if they're 44. And I wasn't able to do that. He never asked for it. He was taking care of it himself, and I need to finish it for him.
That's where we got involved. I stopped by Premier to speak with owner Ann Bauza. She was too busy to chat in person, but we later talked on the phone. She told me she thought the check was sent. I politely explained it wasn't. A day later,
I found it remarkable that I got such a quick response, that evidently your visit to the office on that same day we talked had an impact on him.
A few days after that, the Morgans received this check in the mail made out to Joel's estate.
I contacted you on the 20th of the month. You responded on the 22nd. You had results on the 23rd. And the fact that I'd spent so much time and energy and couldn't get anywhere, what you did was truly amazing.
A rewarding resolution for a family seeking comfort and closure. I'm Mike Colombo, News 4.
And the Morgans say once their son's estate is settled, they are going to use that refund money to establish a scholarship at the high school that Joel attended. The Morgans say that Premier's owner also wants to contribute to that fund.
Of all the lines you'll see this holiday season,
Hi, how are you?
this line
Are you ready for this?
might be the safest.
This is the officer that's going to take you, okay?
There's a cop for every kid,
My name is Officer Resch.
and every kid gets $100 to buy whatever they want.
Wow! What? That must be a must.
It's My Little Pony. Yes, I love her. Yes.
That's the one you want?
And the excitement grows every year.
We done about 57 kids that first year.
22 years later,
We're going to do around 500 kids this year.
Wow, he's so cute.
and for the parents of these cute kids,
It's a blessing.
but tough times mean tough choices.
Some kids don't get as much for Christmas as they'd like.
Knowing that, the St. Francis County Sheriff's Department helped raise some $50,000 to make this possible.
What you want? All right, stick it in the cart.
By giving, these cops hope the children receive a message they won't forget.
Many of these kids, the only time they see a policeman is when something's gone wrong. We want them to know the police are the good guys. You can come to us for help.
When you check out the real reasons for the holiday season, you realize it's not what you have in your basket that counts. Turns out being nice instead of naughty actually does matter. And as a new generation learns about generosity, we should all remember you don't need a badge to share your gifts with others this time of year.
Merry Christmas!
I'm Mike Colombo.